Hey guys, happy Monday. I know it's not finished Friday, but you know what we've started doing is on Mondays, I go over a new color with you. And that way, all through the week on social media, whether it's our Instagram page, if you're not following us on Instagram, please be sure and do that, or on our Facebook page and then on Pinterest. We will show you inspirational photos of how to be able to use this Color Crush Monday color on everything from your walls to furniture, your floors, or maybe even your upholstery. So it's to inspire you and let you see that really using colors, using things maybe a little bit more out of the ordinary can make a huge difference in the way we decorate our homes. Now, today you're gonna go, Amy, that's not a color. But it is such a vital part of interior design. And I couldn't talk about color or adding color to your homes without talking about my favorite color crush. It's black. Now, I know in technicalities it's not a color, but here's the deal. Every room needs a little bit of black to visually anchor it. So whether or not you have bright blues or navies or maybe the up and coming color of yellows or grays, to have a piece of furniture or a door or a wall painted in black, in a gorgeous black matte color, can make all the difference in the world. So I want to be able to show you today, I'm going to take you through the process too of using a little bit of gold metallic wax on black, using cerusing wax on black, and using light wax, dark wax, and dust of ages on black. You can take it from just being a matte black finish in the one-step paint to a glorious example of a fine furniture painted finish look. All right, so as always, when we do Color Crush Mondays, we talk about what are complementary colors with black. Guys, look at this. I'm gonna hold these up. Can you see them? So this color is Luxe Gray. It's this beautiful light gray that has just a little bit of blue in it. Here's with black, look at this. And then also we have graphite. So we've got graphite, Luxe Gray, and black. They go beautifully together. So these are complementary colors when you think about using them in a room, going with them. Now, to me, black is timeless. It's very classic. The first time I had gone to London, and I was a young girl, and I went to Kensington, if any of y'all have ever been there, and I saw all these black doors. It really was so striking against these gorgeous white stone houses and these dark, gorgeous black doors and big knockers and big handles. And I came home, one of the first homes that I ever did, I started painting all of my doors in black. Here's the great thing. Matte black is very in. But in painting with the one-step paint in black matte finishes, it allows you to be able to put waxes on top of it that will take it to a gorgeous sheen. I'm going to show you something in just a minute that I think you're going to find pretty interesting. But, so remember, look at these colors on our Color Crush. Luxe Gray, graphite, and black are beautiful together. Now, let me turn this down here for just a second. Now, if you're watching this, if you're catching me live, or maybe even later, be sure and tell me where you're popping in from. And know that, as always, for the next 2 days, we're going to be putting your names together and that we will do an automatic drawing day after tomorrow. And I'm going to send you a 16-ounce can of black paint to the person's name that we draw. That way it allows you to be able to see it, to be able to experience it, and to be able to use it. So let me turn this down, and I want to show you kind of what I'm talking about. Now, these are 3 samples. This one is painted with the black matte one-step paint. You see how it's just very matte. Of course, it's in a texture, it's carved, so it allows you, right now there are some shadows and things with it, but this is a flat matte finish that you're going to get with the one-step paint. This one It has the black one step with just a little bit of light wax on it. See the difference? So this is completely matte. Just adding a tiny bit of the light antique wax, that's the sheen that you're gonna get. But now look at this. This is done in light wax, a little bit of dark wax over the light wax, and then dust of ages down in the crevices. Guys, look at the difference. So we go from flat matte black, just adding the waxes when the wax comes to tack, and then adding in the dust of ages. Look at the difference. That dust of ages gets down in the crevices. It gives it really a lot of depth where it looks like it's been hand rubbed. This is what we call a true patina. This is just flat, one-step paint out of the can, and then this is with your light wax, dark wax, and dust. Beautiful, isn't it? All right, so that way that allows you to be able to see kind of the transition, 1, 2, 3, as far as no wax, just light wax, and then light wax and dust of ages. Just being able to hold these up, look at the difference. See the depth that you get from that? Now, everybody needs a little bit of black in their room. Even if it's just a bench, maybe it's a demi-lume, maybe you can incorporate it with some picture frames. A lot of people don't realize when you are working on maybe wanting to redo some art is so expensive, and especially frames are so expensive. Go to Habitat, go to Goodwill, and get some old frames, guys, and paint the frames. That way you can have this finish. Forget the old orange looking leaf or whatever, maybe just paint that you see on those ugly frames. Just paint them with the one step and do this finish, or maybe even come back. I'm gonna show you how to use gold metallic wax, and it's gonna look like a totally different frame that you will love putting your artwork in. All right, so here is the one-step paint. I'm just gonna stir this up. And in using a synthetic brush, I'm gonna dip my brush down in it like this. Now, you can paint raw wood, but those of you that are maybe catching me for the first time, the great thing about the one-step paint is that you just clean it with the one-step paint. Clean it with clean slate, and then after it's dried off, you can come back and paint on the one-step paint. You don't have to sand it, you don't have to prime it, nothing. So I love the fact that I can easily come on top of anything, whether it's picture frames, fireplaces. I do recommend you not painting the inside of the fireplace box. We do have people ask us that. You can definitely paint the tile on the outside, just clean it. And it's as simple as that. So this could be any item that I want to be able to paint in black. You know, black kitchen cabinets are also fabulous. They don't look great in matte. I like them waxed. So I'm going to show you. This is just a board that I have. I'll keep it this direction. And I am going to show you how just with black and adding the cerusine wax, what a difference it can do. So I'm going to squeeze just a little bit of this out on here, guys. So as you pop on, just tell me where you're tuning in from. And my name is Amy Howard, and I am the developer and founder of the products here at Amy Howard at Home. And I love showing you how to use these products and why and what goes through my mind when I'm developing them. So as you load up your brush, you want to make sure that you always offload it. What it does is it evenly distributes the wax around on your brush. And I tell people, when you think about working on a piece of furniture, you're going to go, you're going to do the drawers first, you're going to do the sides, the top. You're not going to try to do the whole thing at one time. Now I'll go on and do the edges just strictly because of being on the camera, so that way it's nice and soft and it finishes it out. But a lot of people don't really realize in just doing black on something, how just changing it out with different waxes, how it can look totally different. Now look at this. Gosh, I am loving, this is so fab. So fab. It's nice and subtle. You do want to work fairly quickly on this. Look at this. Can you tell? Can you see that with the light? Is that so fab? So now you've got this beautiful kind of medium to dark value gray with that white over it, but that white goes down in the gray. Now this is just a regular piece of wood, that a piece of lumber that we got at the hardware store to be able to show you how you can get a different look. Now let's look at this again. Here's our black that we had before. It's still wet. It's just kind of drying. Look at this. Just adding the cerusing wax on top of it. Can you believe the difference? Crazy, crazy, crazy. It's that simple. Just a coat of the black, and then that allows me to be able to get this look. Now, let's go back. Let's go back to this sample to where we've got our light wax. And I want to show you something. So I'm going to take my dark wax. Now you might think, Amy, dark wax isn't going to show up on that black. Yes, it does. It will give it a little bit of color and age. You always want to make sure that you have, the dark wax has its own brush and the light wax has its own brush, because I don't want them to blend together and literally make a third color. So I'm going to come back, I'm going to add just a little bit of the dark wax on the top. It's going to brown it up just a little bit. You're not going to see it a ton. And I do want this to dry for just a minute. Now, for the sake of doing these live videos, it's kind of hard. But I'm going to speed it up just a little bit by fanning it with some of this card. Gene calls this a California fan. Don't ask me why. He has a crazy sense of humor. All right, so I'm going to set that out of the way. Now, I'm going to take my Dust of Ages. I want to make sure that this comes to tack. I don't want to put this dust on before it has, because if I put it on while the wax is still wet, it is literally going to go to where it's too dark and it will literally turn almost black, and I'm not going to like that. I want it to stay a very light gray color. So I'm going to take this out. Use a clean brush. Don't use a brush that you've used for wax. So load it up. And then just tap it on the side of the jar so you don't have too terribly much. And now I want you to just come back, and whether you're working on the top of the piece, the sides, maybe you're doing a chair. I still like to work in sections. And I'll kind of come and almost grind this down in here just a little bit, because I want it down in the crevices. Let me clean that off just a little bit. Now, watch this. So I'm just taking a lint-free rag, and I'm going to buff over the top of it to start to reveal that wax underneath. And now I'm going to start to get a little bit of a sheen. Isn't that beautiful? Can you see it? So it allows me to be able to bring the detail out too. This is when it starts to look like a cabinet finish. Look at this. See, this is just our matte, flat black, and look at it with the wax. See the difference? See the patina that we're talking about? So I'm just going to buff it. The thing is, I don't want to buff it too much, because I don't want to lose the detail that I get down in here. Now, a lot of you might say, well, Amy, that's really carved. Am I going to have the same look? Am I going to be able to see that as you did on putting that cerusing wax on that flat black? The answer is yes. It does make a big difference. And it will make it look like you've got more of a cabinet finish. So, now let me show you one more thing. You can come back with some of our gold embellishing wax, like this. And I'm just going to lay a little bit of the details on top of here like this. I don't have to do it everywhere. Maybe just kind of on top of the detail and on the egg and dart, like this. I could be using a brush. Jean would probably get mad at me and say, you need to get a brush, Amy. So I'm just going to come back lighten it up. Then I'll just come back and add a little bit more detail where I want it, and then blend it. Once it's kind of come to set up, I don't need to wipe it off too much. That way I can come back and buff it, and it'll have a beautiful patina. So that way I've got light wax, dark wax, and dust, so that way I've buffed it. I've done this one with just cerusing wax, or I can come back with some gold and be able to add some embellishments. And all of this is just with the black one-step paint. So you see the versatility, you see how you have options, but I truly want to encourage you. Every room needs a little bit of black. So start looking around your house, whether it's picture frames, whether it's a demi-lune, or maybe let's go bold. Let's do a huge armoire. I have a black armoire in my living room that is absolutely beautiful because I have a lot of blue and white in there. So you think about, while we showed you as far as the luxe gray and graphite and black are complementary colors and they look great together, know that black with blue and white, with gorgeous chocolate browns, all kinds of things, you always need a little bit of black just to visually anchor it in that room. So start looking around your house, see what you're going to rescue, restore, and redecorate with. And just know that we always can have a color crush with our black. Have a great day, everybody. Be watching our Instagram and our Facebook all week this week, as we're going to show you just how versatile and how glorious it can be to have a little bit of black in every room. Have a great Monday.